In this video, I'm going to show you how to use ADX in addition to RSI to improve a trading strategy. We're going to look at a breakout trend trading strategy that trades off of the 4-hour chart for pound versus yen. The basic strategy uses signals from RSI to get in and out of the trades, but then we're going to apply the ADX indicator to improve the strategy overall. Using ADX in the way that I'm going to show you allows us to filter trades and end up only taking the higher quality trades. We'll go over the basic strategy and I'll show you the results of taking all the trades using the RSI signals to get in and out. Then we'll apply the ADX indicator and we compare the two, and I'll show you the improvements. We'll do that on the computer. Then once we've finished, I'll show you another way to filter out some trades not using ADX, and I think you'll like that one too, so hang around to the end of the video for that. First of all then, we're going to move over to my whiteboard where I'll demonstrate how to get in and out of the trades using the RSI signals. Then we'll go over to the computer and start looking to improve the basic strategy. The basic strategy and the signals are generated using RSI on the 4-hour chart. Now, for this particular strategy, we're going to use an 8-period RSI. So go to your settings, set the RSI for 8 periods in length. That's actually going to be 8 bars, and because we're using a 4-hour chart or 240 minute, that's going to be 8 4-hour bars. Entry and exit rules, dead simple. We've got these levels, these horizontal lines that we can draw on our RSI indicator. I'm leaving these at 70 and 30. And what we're looking for to enter a long trade or a buy trade is we're waiting to see the crossover from below 70 to above 70. Once we see that crossover, then that's our trigger to buy the next bar. And the same with a sell trade or a sell short trade. If we're already in a long trade, then we get a signal to sell. We actually exit the long trade and then we sell short as well. And the opposite, if we're already in a short trade, we get a buy signal, we cover on the short trade and then we buy. So it's like a stop and reverse type system. So that the sell or the sell short trades, we're looking for levels of the RSI to be above 30, then cross over, go below 30, then our next bar, that's where we sell or sell short. So that's dead simple, basic strategy. Now let's go over to the computer, apply the ADX indicator, and I'll show you how to improve things using that. To test these strategies, we're going to be using data from Oanda, and we're going to use it from a date range from 2008 through to the end of 2018. And what then that does is that leaves us a couple of years extra to use as our out of sample data. So whatever we modify in the in sample main period of the data, then we can apply it to the more future data, which is the unseen or out of sample data, to give us an indication of whether we've overfitted or over optimized. Here's the chart of pound, yen and 240 minute or 4-hour chart. You can see the trades on the chart and they correspond to the signals from the RSI. This is an RSI 8 period, and the 30 and the 70 are these horizontal lines drawn at the 30 and the 70 levels. On Multicharts, what I'm using here, it actually draws RSI in red if it goes above 70 and in cyan if it goes below 30. So we can quite clearly see our long trade in red corresponds on the upper chart there to buy, and we've got a short when it goes cyan down here and it corresponds to the short. So ever so simple. Like I said, we're looking for that crossover from below 70 to above 70 for buys, and we're looking at a 30 level for the short trades. On this first chart, the strategy is just the bare strategy using every one of these signals, as you can see. So let's look at the results. And that's the equity curve, which is okay. It's probably not something I'd trade straight away, but it's moving in the right direction. We can see that over those years it's made 6.5 million yen, 356 trades, 43% accurate, and we've got an average trade value of about 18,000 yen. So let's look at the next chart where we're going to apply the ADX. Now, I've applied it onto the chart, I've applied the indicator, the ADX indicator, and we're using standard 14 period. If 14 isn't your standard period on your chart, adjust it to 14. So 14 periods or 14 4-hour bars. Now I'm using ADX slightly differently to the probably more traditional way that you might have already read about using ADX. ADX is typically used to measure whether the market is trending or not, and typically the higher the number of the ADX, the stronger the trend. Now, I've tried this, and what you can do is you could use a threshold of ADX, let's say 20. So you could say, only take these trades if the ADX level is above 20. And that's a completely valid way to filter out trades using ADX. However, I have tried that, and it didn't work particularly well on this strategy using pound yen on the 4-hour chart. So I've approached it in a different way. Now, we're going to run through an optimization, but essentially what I've said is I'm actually looking at what will be the slope of the line of the ADX in essence, because what I'm saying is I want to see the current ADX value on the current bar. I want to see that it's greater than the value of the bar, say 2 bars ago or 3 bars ago. We're going to test this, and essentially what that's going to tell us is whether the ADX is trending upwards. So we're not too concerned with the out-and-out value. It could be, we could be looking at an ADX value of 10, but the ADX 3 bars ago was only 6. So in that case, we would take the trades because the ADX is trending upwards. So on this first chart, what we've got is we've got an ADX filter, and we're saying we only want to be taking these buy and short trades from the RSI signals if the ADX level on the current bar is greater than the ADX level on the last bar. So let's see how that looks. We've got fewer trades. Our average trade value has actually gone down to 17,000, and we're only making 4.6 million this time. So that's not a particularly good improvement, is it? Let's just have a quick look at the equity curve. And the equity curve's much worse. So straight away, that hasn't worked very well. But what if comparing the ADX value of the current bar to the last bar isn't correct? Well, we can do an optimization on that. We can optimize from 1 bar back through to 20 bars back if we want. So I've already done that. So let's have a look at the results. And these are the results from that optimization. I've called it the ADX Look Back. So the results we saw on the current report was using ADX compared to ADX 1 bar ago, and we've got that 4.6 million profit which we saw, and that 17,000 average trade. Now I've run an optimization from using 1 bar ago to 14 bars ago to see which one works the best. So looking down the values, the ADX Look Back, looking at the average trade and the net profit, straight away we can see a clear winner. Well, both 8 and 9 are quite good. So looking at 9, which is the best, it makes 13 million and 85,000 for the average trade rather than 17,000. So let's select 9 as the look back and have a look, see what the results are like. And we can see here's our net profit. The equity curve is much better than the previous one where we introduced the ADX filter, and better than the first one which had no filter whatsoever. Total trade analysis, slightly more accurate at 46%. We've got that average trade of 85,000. We are filtering out trades, so we have got less trades. The next thing we're going to do is introduce a stop loss, because we need a stop loss, and we'll probably just use something basic like a fixed pip stop loss. If you followed any of my work, you'll know I like to use fixed pip stop losses. They just work particularly well with algorithmic type trading strategies. So before we do that, if you're finding this video useful, and you like it, as always, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So let's now go on and look at the stop losses for this strategy. I've run an optimization as usual, and you can see here in this column my stop loss, and we've gone from 0 stop, which we've already seen, down to 6, which is equivalent to 600 pips on pound yen, as we normally do, looking down the net profit and looking down the average trade values. I'll move this down so we can see where the best sort of results lie, and they're probably around here, around 400 or 420 pips. We've got the best net profit and certainly one of the best average trades. You can argue that they're slightly better further down, but if we can keep the stop narrower and keep a similar average trade and net profit, then I'd prefer to do that. So let's use 420 pips as the stop loss. And we can see now we've got our 420,000 yen as our largest losing trade. That's our 420 pips. We've still got a decent 81,000 yen average trade, or equivalent to 81 pips. 162 trades, 13.2 million net profit, and the equity curve still looks nice and uniform. We're making highs right up till the end of the data, which is great. Now we've done those modifications, let's have a look at how the strategy performs on some unseen data or out of sample data. You remember we've got data here up until the end of December 2018, and if we look in the next workspace, we've got data up until the 11th of March 2021, so over 2 years worth of unseen data to see how this strategy performs. And there's the equity curve. We have made new highs. December 2019 made new highs. Ever since then, 2020 was probably not a very good year for this strategy, although it's been quite strong since the middle of 2020, and we're moving up. So you never know, hopefully that's going to continue on up and going to make new highs. So I've shown you a way to improve a strategy using ADX, and a way to effectively combine two indicators to make a better strategy than just using the one. I'm not suggesting that you go out and trade this strategy as it is. This video, this strategy, this demonstration was more just to show you what works, how to combine indicators to make things better. What I do suggest you do is take the ADX and use it in a way that I've shown you, and apply it to some different strategies, some strategies of your own which you might have, and see if you can make some improvements too. Now I also mentioned another way to improve this RSI strategy. Remove ADX, we're not using ADX at all. We're looking at the same buy and sell signals using RSI, but what we're doing is we're only taking those signals if they occur during a certain time of the day. It could be between 1300 hours and 1900 hours. So we're only looking for the crossover. So for a buy trade, RSI below 70, crosses above 70. If that occurs during this certain time window of the day. I've already made a video all about that, and it's actually a more effective filter than using ADX like I've just shown you. So if you've liked this video, then I'm sure you'll like the other one using the time window. I'll link that in the top corner now, so you can go and watch that if you haven't already seen it. So that's all for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and until the next video, this is Jared Goodwin, and thank you.